You! Lock those doors! Doc, it's Miller time.
Welcome to Miller time. It's all yours, and it's all mine.
Let's put her to sleep!
It's Miller time.
Miller time.
You're going the wrong way!
He says we're going the wrong way.
Oh, he's drunk. How would he know where we're going?
Yeah, how would he know? Thank you. Thanks a lot. Terrific.
Thank you. What a moron.
This is Jedi Geek Girl from I Rebel, and I never, ever listen to Discard to Reroll with Mr. Chip.
That won't dress, Daddy.
I won't roll trash.
Hi, this is Ben from California, and I never listen to Discard to Reroll with Mr. Chip.
Hi, I'm Sith Holocron, and I never listen to Discard to Reroll.
It's all a lot of simple tricks and nonsense.
Hey, this is Bobby Sapphire from the Hyperloops, and I legit never listen to Mr. Chip on Discard to Reroll.
Discard to Reroll.
Dark side and the light.
Well, it happened. Nobody thought it could happen. The deck's too slow. It's going to lose on time. Nobody's playing it. It's not competitive. And what happened? It wins Nationals. GenCon. This deck is the new face of Destiny. Hope everybody's happy. This is why we can't have nice things in this house. Mill. Nobody believed me. Nobody believed me. I'm just the guy. I'm just the casual Destiny player. He doesn't know anything. Discard to Reroll. You're not going to get advice on that show. You're just going to maybe get a laugh or a headache. No advice. But the one piece of advice I gave, I said, you watch out for Mill. You watch out for Mill. And what happens? It wins Nationals. Well, there you go. Congratulations. And actually, the players deserve a lot of congratulations because it is not super easy. Now, I know they make it seem like it's super easy, but you know they're very skilled at playing that deck. And clearly they enjoy it. Some people like torture. All power to them. Hey, it's Discard to Reroll. We're a podcast about a little dice and card game we like to call Star Wars Destiny. I'm your host, Mr. Chip, and thank you for still listening. We appreciate all of your support and all of you new Patreon supporters. Man, I really hope you've enjoyed it. We sent out your rewards just a few short days ago, and they should be making their way to you now. And it means so much to you to me, not to you. It means so much to me. And, well, hopefully to you too, that you still stick by the show, and we do appreciate that. Even as I complain about Mill, I feel like I've offended some people. I can't book a guest in this show to save my life. Unbelievable. You'd think it'd be something horrifically controversial. And all I'm doing is talking about a deck that I don't like to play, that I think is beyond boring, and is going to kill the game of Destiny. But other than that, I don't know what's controversial about what we say. I guess I can cross that off my list already. Hey, if you want to participate in the show, you can do that. You send us an email. Now, the email is questions@discardtoreroll.com. We're going to read some of those tonight. And understand, too, that it's just me, by the way, and I really wish we had some help around a community manager, and we're going to be looking for those people. If you're interested, send me an email. I certainly would appreciate the help. But the way we do it is on Twitter. Now, a lot of you do it on Facebook. I don't have a Facebook. I mean, we've got the Facebook page, and I try to post there as much as I can. But, I find it doesn't matter what the content is that you do. That Facebook can be a little bit on the negative side at times. And that certainly has happened in Destiny. So, I'm not there as much. So we do it on Twitter. That seems to be a great place to do it. I know a lot of people don't go on the Twitter, but we do it on Twitter and Instagram. The Twitter is DiscardTO Reroll. And join the conversation. We'd love to get your opinion and your thought. And a few of you have done that. And we're going to try and make sure we incorporate on that today's show. Now, what do we have going on for today? Well, today we're going to talk a little bit about the Millpocalypse that's happening. And I want to tell you about a Store Championship that's happening for me in the next 24 hours. We'll be playing that. And actually, it's in 12 hours when it starts. And then in 24 hours is when I'll come home and probably be 3-3. But I want to talk to you about that. I want to talk to you about a previous store championship that I had, and really just some thoughts around all of that stuff. And then just as a bonus, I've got an interview that I did with Sith Holocron, who's a player from across the bay in Northern Ireland, as they call it. It's Northern Ireland. And we're going to attach that to the end of this show, so you've got some content. Now, that was before Way of the Force dropped, but I think the content is really good. It talks a lot about the battlefield selection and how important that's become in Destiny. And thinking about that as the 31st card, so hopefully you enjoy that. And we'd love to have you be part of the community that we're trying to build here, which is a casually competitive Star Wars Destiny community. We do talk about all things competitive, but I want to make sure we stay focused on those people who are really learning the game too. And guess what? If you're learning the game and you go to your local store and you sit down for a tournament and you sit against a deck and it's Mill, you should pick up your cards and leave, because that's not really the game of Destiny that I think will make you all excited to play. But we'll talk about that in a minute. Now, on to a few things. First, I want to congratulate my dear friend who is not willing to be a co-host on the show. And yes, I will call him out. His name is Zach. And if you want to see a picture of his face, you can head over to the Twitter, because he's the face of a Mill player, which I've learned very recently how much he's very much into Mill. He's very much into control decks. And he was that way in Magic, and I should have assumed he'd do that in Destiny. And as soon as there was a viable option for him to jump on that bandwagon, he's that type of player. And he's lucky I still like his family as a result of that. But Zach put together a pretty competitive deck, and I liked it. It was a Plo Koon Jedha Partisan. It was 2 Jedha Partisan deck. Now, Plo Koon, I still feel like, gosh, if all the Mill hype didn't exist, that deck, I hope that has a chance somewhere in this meta, because I think it's a really great card. I love the design, and I just hope maybe like a fine wine, when Across the Galaxy comes out, that kind of opens it up. The bouquet, its nose becomes stronger. I'll have to ask Bobby about some wine tasting tips. But anyway, he put that deck together, and I was excited for him to give that a shot. And that was really, this is about 3 weeks ago now. And the meta just started to really take shape, and it was all about Price and Kylo at that point, which it seems like is a distant memory ever since the Millpocalypse started. But of course, there I am with my deck, and I'm playing Villain Vehicles, thanks to a guy over in upstate New York who gave me some advice right before the tournament. And I wanted to try a deck that I hadn't played before. And you might think, that's kind of crazy. You're going to go to a store championship and play something you haven't played before. I think that's what that's all about. I think store championships are about fun. And yeah, you may want to get a buy in regionals. I don't care about that. I want to get my money's worth for Destiny, so I don't really care about having the buy or not. But I just want to be able to play. And I want to play in a competitive way, and I want to play something like Vehicles, which I really haven't played. And I think Villain Vehicles, there's a spot for it. I really do. Again, maybe not against Mill, but there's a spot for it. So the deck I played was Snoke. It was Elite Snoke, Elite Sienna, and Battle Droid. So, the first question is, why not yellow in there? And I don't know. I don't know why not yellow. That was the list that I was given didn't have any yellow in it, and I didn't have time to really adjust that list. And I really liked it. Actually, I really loved it, playing it. And I've never had a lot of fun playing Vehicles. And this one, man, there's something about it when you're throwing that many dice around, and a 5-die start, which that deck is, that is pretty powerful. And I know there's a lot of people who really don't build other than 5-die starts. Even if the dice are average or a little bit below average, it's when you can just blitz the field with dice, and there's so many different options that you have with that. I think it's powerful. But then when you sit down for the first round and you end up playing your best friend who's playing Mill, we get paired together. I think Just Games, it's definitely controversy. Let's just say I don't think it was coincidental. And I love Matt at Just Games, but I don't think that was coincidental. How do we get paired? That's punishment. It's my punishment. And the game went great, and I enjoyed playing Zach, who's the only other guy I play lately. And game was in hand. And I got too excited for the finish line. Too excited for the finish line. The last card played of the game, can you guess what it was? I'll give you a second. Last card played in the game. Yeah, hyperspace jump. Game over. I just didn't see it coming. That's dumb. That's just dumb playing. I didn't see it coming. And it was it. And I had tons of dice ready to go. And that was a frustrating thing to have happen. But here's what I have to say about that. The game was fun. I can't even believe I'm saying it, but that game was fun. Like I felt even. It felt like I had a chance. And that was like just it's not an awesome thing to feel like when you just got caught basically by surprise with your pants down. But it's kind of a good feeling too, because that was an exciting game, and it was Zach that won. And by the way, the rest of the day, 3-3. So that basically I was at that point I'm 0-1. I go 3-2 the rest of the day. 3-3, I'm out. Zach makes top cut 4-2. Good for him, which I'm excited for him. But that one card, winning early is huge in any competitive thing you're going to do. Getting those wins early is big. And I just didn't do it. And it was hyperspace jump. But it was really fun. I really enjoyed it. And yeah, it's maddening and frustrating when that happens to you. But that's just good destiny. And, one or two cards the other way. And it's with all of my games. Really, I think I was in it. And that was the only mill that I played that day. The deck played great against Kylo Price. Vehicles do well against Kylo. When you mix up those colors, man, it makes a lot of difference with him, doesn't it? And I think, God, out of 5 calls, he missed 4 of them. Like, that's huge. That's huge. The deck did really well against a Thrawn Snoke. And I lost on like the last turn to that. And the kid was a great player too, which was enjoyable. But a lot of fun experience. It was a great time. And I just wanted to mention that I got punished losing the mill. But there's something, having all those dice on the board. I mean, when vehicles get cooking, it can be super fun. And by the way, I love Probe. That doesn't sound good, but I love that card, Probe. What a good card that is. So when you got all those dice out, you're just focused on those dice. I was really excited, and I had him dead to rights. Except hyperspace jump, game over, no cards left in my deck. Done. But the game was fun. I can't even believe I said it. The game was fun. The new build that's out there, the 3-wide, that's not fun. For me, that's not fun. And you can even ask the team that played it, by the way, and I think they'd say the same thing. That it's concerning. It's concerning. In fact, after GenCon, by the way, if you don't know what we're talking about, GenCon, which was held just when you're listening to this podcast, it was just a week ago. We're in the beginning of August right now of 2018, if you're listening to this 2 years from now, which God love you and thank you. And I hope the game's still around if you're listening to it. The Hyperloops guys have talked about how afterward they go and find Jeremy, who's the lead designer on the game, and say, "Yeah, you might want to work on this and fix the game." Because the last time they did that, by the way, is when Bobby went. Bobby Sapphire, by the way, we're talking about from the Hyperloops, went the face of the Hyperloops, the shoulders of the Hyperloops, Team Shoulders, which is what their new nickname is. In when was it? I think it was World, excuse me, where he went. I don't know, 8. It was crazy, like 8-0 and 10-0, 11-0, whatever. 50-0 with Sabine, Ezra. Remember that deck? Boy, Mill made you forget about that, didn't it? Made you forget about Sabine. But anyway, after he won like 50 in a row, I think the nerf was in direct reaction to that. I don't know. Maybe that was too soon. I don't know which I hate more. And then the question now is, well, how do you fix it? By the way, we're talking about mill decks and whether the Millpocalypse is a problem. It's a problem. I'll tell you what is a problem is when pod racing first came out and everybody laughed at it. Everybody said it was garbage. And I don't know if you remember a guy from Double Blanks, Jay, said that stuff's trash. It'd be fun, and if you want to do the Boonta Eve Classic, everybody was talking about that. In fact, we had somebody call us out on that. Well, guess what? They were absolutely right, because from what I'm hearing and what you see when you watch that deck operate, it's all about Anakin's pod racer. That Anakin's pod racer is difficult to deal with. I don't know. I don't know. Now it's 11 hours before my store championship, and I don't know what to play. Well, congratulations to Zach, because, by the way, when Zach beat me, I ended up going 3-3. He was 4-2, made the cut. What happens to me? I go home. But I had a great dinner with my wife, so it was worth it. And you know what this was going to be a show about how Sabine's not dead. Because a guy by the name of the Rebel Spy, and I didn't mean to rhyme that, who I seem to remember on this I may have to go back and find it. On this podcast, said that he hated playing Sabine. So what does he do? He plays solo Sabine. And calling all favors? Is that the one it is? That plot? And he wins the store championship with it. I don't know. I don't know if it's good players with decent decks win store championships, or it's good players with good decks win everything. I don't know. And I wouldn't call him a good player. I'd call him a great player, by the way. Goes out and wins. So Sabine's not dead. So now here's the situation we got in the game now. Sabine's not dead. In fact, she's alive and well. And I may see her a ton tomorrow. Solo Sabine. And Mill's here. And it's 3-wide Mill. So now what do? Here's what you do. You take your list and you go like this and you come up with something else. I'm looking at Jyn Erso decks. I mean, that's a problem. That is a problem when you're looking at Jyn Erso decks. Oh my God, I don't know what to do. I mean, I love Destiny. I do. And in fact, I want to talk to you about my love for Destiny, because a new game was announced, and this is not a Keyforge podcast, but a new game was announced by FFG at GenCon called Keyforge. And you might have heard some buzz around it. You might have seen the guys from Double Blanks, or one of the guys, I think Jay, was on there playing with Mike. Mike Rudin and Tiny Grimes have started a podcast, Keyforge Podcast. They're already on 2. They're already catching up to us on the Discard or Reroll. D-House was playing it too. D-House from the Jedi Trials. Like all the Star Wars Destiny guys are playing this game. Well, let me tell you one guy that's not. This guy. Not playing it. And let me tell you why. First of all, it's not Star Wars. That's number one. I like Destiny because Destiny is a Star Wars game. That was my original interest in it. Was I mean, it wasn't the card design. I mean, I liked the characters because in Awakenings, I recognized the characters. The dice looked goofy to me, actually, when I first picked up Destiny. I thought it was like a baby kids game. Well, it's not a baby kids game, let me tell you that. I mean, I at least win once at Candyland, although my 3-year-old did legitimately beat me at Candyland the other night. So that tells you about my gaming prowess that I have. But, yeah, so Star Wars being a theme, number one. Number two is it being collectible, which is another itch that unfortunately I need to scratch in my life. I don't do drugs. I don't gamble. I guess you'd call it gambling then when you buy the loot packs, as I call them, of Star Wars Destiny. But I like to collect things, and that's one of the things I love, Star Wars and collectible. And then when you play the game, it's amazing. It's amazing. Lucas gets a lot of garbage for things in Spirit of Rebellion in particular, for hurting the game. But man, I mean, come on, we're all listening to this thing because we love this game. I think the combination of the dice and the luck and the strategy, I mean, it's amazing. Keyforge now, by the way, created by Richard Garfield. And if you haven't heard about Richard Garfield, no, this is not Odie and Garfield. This is Richard Garfield with cool round glasses, if you watch interviews with him. He happened to create a little game called Magic the Gathering. You might have heard of that one. Very good game. And he's created a lot of stinkers, too, along the way after that. But Magic, you do one of those things in your life, right? Everybody's got that one thing you've done in your life that you're really proud of. And and kind of you can hang your hat on it. I think he can hang his hat on Magic. I don't know what he gets in royalties on that now, but I'm hoping he had a good agent. Anyway, Richard Garfield's behind this. And one of the things that he said in some interviews is that the idea of that it's collectible, but it's rewarding players for playing the cards that they've been dealt. What a great metaphor for life. Play the cards you've been dealt. When you've been given lemons, you make lemonade. So you're getting these randomized decks. Now, if you've watched interviews where he's opened actually packs up, you're starting to see cards that are, it's not the cards themselves. There's like 350 that are in the base set for this first version of the game. But you're buying these pre-made decks that are quote unquote random. Now, the random part of it, God, I had Chipotle tonight and it's not. Tip to podcasters, don't have Chipotle before you go on a podcast. So these things are supposed to be randomized. And then, so what's weird is the machine, the algorithm creates a unique name for each deck combination that's put together by the pooter. See, the pooter puts them all together and then it gives it a name, names its card baby. It names its card baby. Mrs. Butterworth and the Huggle Pancakes, or Fred Flintstone and the Car Jammers, whatever. It gives it a goofy name. And then that's your unique deck. Cool, right? I mean, that's a great way to play sealed. If you think about it, I would love that. Like if I didn't have to make any of the selections, like you just open it up and you play. Pretty cool. There's also a QR code that's on the pack. And I think finally people are catching on that the whole reason for that, it's twofold. One is that if it's going to balance your decks for you. Well, how's that possible? Well, because they know that the combination of cards that are powerful. And I think that what they're going to be doing is they're going to put that in the pooter. And then when you scan your deck of cards in the app, it knows whether or not the deck is inherently better or worse than another deck. And so it's got this thing called chains. And so these chains that you have attached to your deck are basically like a handicap. And that means you either, I think it's about restricting your card draw every turn. So you can still play that deck, but based on the way that the algorithms are determining what decks are successful or not, I'm sure that's going to be done with human intervention. Whatever those combinations are, that when you scan the QR code on your deck in Keyforge, that it's going to be telling you the recommended chains for your deck. I think that's how it's going to work. They haven't really talked too much more about that. But the one thing they did say is that it's going to also allow you to play your deck online. Duh. Like you knew that was coming. There's no way that Fantasy Flight Games is letting Tabletop Simulator infiltrate another game. I promise you. That is happening. It's just not going to go down with Fantasy Flight. They are not going down that road again. And it's a revenue that's lost, and it ain't happening. So if you're playing it that way, enjoy it now, because that is gone city the second that game really officially drops. Now, it's FFG. Who knows when that's going to be officially. But concept is great. Here's the other thing that's interesting about it, and then I'll tell you why I'm not going to play it. The interesting piece about it is that since Richard Garfield made it, this is a long way to get to the point. But the point is that there's no mill. There's no mill. The grandfather, the creator, the man who birthed Magic the Gathering out of his maternal card womb in his brain, which is a very odd picture to paint. But as he created Magic, he's the guy who made Millstone, which is the card, by the way, that milling or removing cards from your opponent's deck, that's what that's based on. Millstone. Hated card anyway in Magic. He's not going to have that happen in Destiny. I'm sorry, he's not going to have that happen in Keyforge. Yeah, I wish that didn't happen in Destiny. So it's gone. You just recycle your deck. You shuffle it up and go again. Mill is not a strategy. At least milling out your opponent is not a win condition in Keyforge. That's a neat idea. I like it. Here's why I'm not going to play it. It's that itch of Star Wars with the dice and the cards and the collectability that I like. Being 45 people, I can only play with orcs and goblins and grunts and curd apes and House of Dis and House of Dat for so much. And for me, that's just not my style of game. And whatever. If it was Star Wars, truth be told, maybe I'd consider that. I really would. But this theme, it's not for me. And there's been a lot of other great games that have, the generic type of a character. And I'm sure there's going to be personality in the game. And I don't mean to, like, the art's good, but that's just not for me. That's not my style. But to all of you who are looking for a game that I'm hoping the cost of entry isn't that high. And if you really don't like Mill, but you like some of the main mechanics, here's the other thing. There's no mana cost. The mana or the expense of playing a card, which is exactly how card games, since the time he invented Magic and mana and tapping, or it's exhausting, right? That concept is turned on its head a little bit. Like you pick, so there's basically 3, I don't know if they call them houses or factions. I think they're houses in each deck. So it's made up of 3 houses of cards. So just think colors, right? You basically pick which color you want to be or play for that turn. And you can play any of those cards that you have in your hand for free because you selected it. There's no mana to keep track of. And you can use those cards that are, I don't know what they call it, if they call it a battlefield, for free, which is awesome. But if you have, let's say, characters that are from a different house, you can't activate those unless a card effect allows you to do that. Great concept. Again, not for me. Other people have asked me about Transformers. We're going to do a Transformers podcast. That interests me a little bit. I mean, I'm product of the 80s, and the art looks good, and it's Wizards of the Coast, and I've been looking to maybe give Wizards of the Coast a chance on a game. And the funny thing is, if I go right now to Google and I type in Transformers TCG release date into Google, there's a Google quick answer, that when they answer the questions up at the top in the little box, it says release date, September 28th, 2018. 40 character cards and 81 battle cards are available in Transformers TCG booster packs. Each booster pack contains 1 foil Transformers character card and 7 battle cards. Look at this. There it is. Transformers TCG coming very soon. $3.99 a pack. Goof. That's a little expensive. I don't know what you think, if that's expensive or not. But anyway, the funny part about that is you search for it. A Google quick answer says September 28th, 2018. Now, I'm going to try something. I'm going to type in Star Wars Destiny across the galaxy release date. A quick answer came up and said, yeah, right. So I don't know. There you go. What do you think about Keyforge? And do you think it's going to take away from Destiny? Do you even think that they're in the same ballpark? Man, I just don't. I don't see that. It's not taking me away, but maybe it'll take you away from it. It's taking Jay away. He's not podcasting with me right now, is he? I can't get him on this show to save my life. I don't know. By the way, if you're interested, I got a spot for you. You got to be able to record regularly. I'm pretty tired of here. I need advice. The whole idea, this whole podcast, by the way, started was for me to get coaching for cheap. I should have just joined Hyperloop's Patreon. Really. Coaching tier. It would have been cheaper. I don't get any advice from anybody. Alan. Preston gives me advice. He said, play this vehicle deck. It's good. I went 3-3. What am I going to play now? I'm going to play tomorrow. I still don't have a deck. This is not going to be good. It's not going to be good at all. So we talked about Mill. Do you want to hear that deck list, or do you already know that deck list by now? Here's the one that intrigues me for tomorrow. You're not going to listen to this anyway for tomorrow, so I probably won't put it out. I like guys from Destiny Council and John and Brian talk about Yoda, Cassian, Aggro. Now that's a deck I could get behind. That deck I like. Yoda, Cassian, that's profitable connections too. I like that plot. It's profitable connection, singular. And it's got a really goofy picture of Lando Calrissian on it. That's got 15 upgrades, 11 dice, 15 events. Love it. It's got heavy blasters, heavy blaster pistol, force illusion, force speed, hidden blasters, holdout blasters, second chance, and night snipers. That's a lot of good dice cards, isn't it? A lot of good weapons. To me, that's Destiny. Now you're playing some Destiny. What's the event? It's got 2 all-ins, easy pickings, entangle, friends in low places, hidden motive, hyperspace jump, impulsive, mind trick, overconfidence, quick draw, and rebel. Rebel seems super fun. What's that card do, by the way? It's a yellow card. It's for heroes. It costs 1. Play only if you have 1 or more dice showing a discard. So you got to roll that discard. That's the key. Play a card from your discard pile, decreasing its cost by 1. So what could you do with that? Anything. Anything. Play any card from your discard pile. So what could you do? You could do that to second chance. In fact, Brian talked about in his interview with John, which you can just listen to it on the Tube of You and type in Destiny Council Yoda Cassian. Or just type in Destiny Council. I bet it comes up. Second chance. Playing that again. That's pretty cool. This deck has staying power with 2 Force Illusions, 2 Second Chance. By the way, how broken are those 2 cards? Force Illusion and Second Chance. Are they broken? I had a discussion with somebody on Tiny Grimes' YouTube channel, comments on his last podcast, where he and the Rebel Spy used to be a guest of Discard or Reroll. Now it's like a ghost town over here. He talked about those 2 cards and the power of those 2 cards. And I mentioned that I think that they're broken. I do. I think those 2 cards, I can't wait for them to rotate out soon. Which, by the way, those things are going to rotate out once the new set, official base set drops, which, who knows? January? Could be. And the feedback was, well, you can run a card that gets those out of there, which is Vandalize. Do you know what Vandalize does? I'm going to tell you right now if you don't. Vandalize. It's yellow. It's neutral. It costs 1. Remove a number of your character dice equal to the cost of a support or upgrade in play to discard it. So you could. I don't know if that makes sense in this deck. Definitely not in this deck because it's so fast. Vandalize is not fast. But if you're worried about it, what would that be? Is that how many damage is Second Chance remove? Let's just double check that. 5. Removes 5. So basically you're paying 1 and 3 of your dice to get rid of 5 damage. I don't know. Is that worth it? I don't know if that's worth it. You know, Rend is a thing. Nobody plays that. I don't know. I'm just worried about Mill. And I don't know what to play tomorrow. I'd love to hear your thoughts. Send them into questions at discardtoreroll.com. We've got some questions here real quick. Then we're going to get to, I got to plan my deck. That's it. That's my reaction to Keyforge. What do you think about Keyforge? We'll have to see. I mean, here's the thing. It's a new IP. I'm looking at my screen. Tiny Grimes actually just responded. He likes that Star Wars IP too. He's an older guy like me. I don't think he's 45, but speaking of older guys, here's Anthony. He writes us from Wales. Hello, Mr. Chip. I'm also a 40-something Star Wars Destiny fan. I've only been playing this addictive, amazing game for the last month. He's just finished binging on all of our brilliant podcasts. Thank you. That's very nice of you to say. And I just wanted to thank you so much for creating such great shows. You've really helped an old dude get his head around the Star Wars Destiny galaxy. And he left a review on iTunes. Thank you. You can do that too, as a matter of fact. His young kiddlywinks are also becoming Star Wars Destiny fans. I'm so sorry. Don't let him play Mill. Great practice for me too. And I've also started watching Rebels with him recently. And he said it's honestly better than he thought it would be. Yes, I agree. I haven't talked about that. I was waiting to get my friend Mike the Rebel Spy on. Or we're trying to book new dad D-House on the show because I want to tell him that I actually really like it. I agree with you that the prequels were pants, but I don't know does that mean bad? That's British talk. I don't know. But I recommend you track down the anti-cheese editions as they're a little bit better and less bloody Jar Jar for sure. I also want to say I love your latest opening jingles to your shows, but where's Bill Murray at? I know, I do love that. And he's been at the beginning. You know, a Star Wars song will work great as a closing jingle for your shows. It also lets me know when I've reached the end. I love it. Thank you. And he needs to start listening to all those other podcasts he ignored for the last month, but can't wait for your next one. Keep up the bloody good work. And may the force be with you always. Anthony in Wales, cheers to you too, sir. Thank you. You know, I always struggle with making sure there's a balance of just enjoyable stuff and stuff that actually helps you in your game. And, you know, I thought here's craziness right now. I really wanted to do a reading. This is going to sound ridiculous. It sounds ridiculous when I say it, so it's got to be ridiculous when you hear it in your ears. But I want to read every single card. And just like no commentary with it, which would be really hard for me to do, and then play it back at night so that I could listen to the cards, or quiz myself around it. And we've got set up, and I have not added the new cards to it, which I really do want to do. We set up a Quizlet site, and that's in the Patreon. It's got the link to that, where I had all the specials up until Way of the Force. So I know I got to get the Way of the Force stuff in there, but it's just, you know, it's hard when you're only a guy doing that stuff. But like to quiz yourself on these cards, because that's one way you get better is knowing the cards. And I joked on, which you don't want to joke with mill players. They're very serious people. Very serious. I said to mill players, you know, reading the cards is a great strategy in Destiny. So when I play you at the store championship at Millennium Games in Rochester, I look forward to thoroughly reading each and every one of your cards, because you want to know the cards that you're playing against. Where a podcast that was or content, bonus content of hearing the cards read to you would help you understand what those cards are. Now, you can't see the picture, but at least you know what those cards are or understand them. And I think reading the cards is just critical. That's not I'm hearing you right now. If you're a mill player, you're saying that's cheating because you're purposefully reading the cards so you go slower. No, it is not. It's being an efficient, thorough player. And taking your time in Destiny is important. You really have to reflect on all the choices that you have. You know, as a mill player, you're going really fast. In fact, if you listen to the latest episode of The Golden Dice with all the boys from New Jersey and Bobby Sapphire, one of the most villainous mill players that's out there, he'll tell you that he puts in his pants. This doesn't sound right, but it's not going anywhere inappropriate. He puts a timer in his pants. And at 20 minutes, that thing was going to vibrate. So again, this is going south fast, but he does. Puts it in his pants, and when it vibrates, he knows he has 15 minutes left. Well, here's the thing. He never had a game go longer than 20 minutes. The timer never vibrated in his pants. They're doing all kinds of goofy stuff. They're putting timers in their pants. They got dice on the table so they count how many cards are left in your deck. What's next? They're sending smoke signals up from their decks of cards? I don't know. And there was all kinds of controversy, too, about that. We're getting off the rails today a little bit. Didn't take long. But there's a part in that game for the championship where somebody takes too many resources, double resources. Now, I will tell you, as a Destiny player myself, and being they've definitely played that deck before. For me, you know, I'm an idiot when I play, but that's no excuse. I was playing Snoke and didn't take the damage. I was reminded correctly to take the damage on your character when you Snoke a die, and that's bad. I don't like doing that. Like, that's embarrassing that you do that. And I wish there was a penalty that you could take against yourself. And, you know, the community is good. And it sounds like in that game, they resolved it within themselves and it wasn't intentional. And, you know, the only people who know that are the two people really playing that game, by the way, when you do that. And it's good that doesn't have to be the discussion, you know, and that didn't, I don't know. I think on Facebook, there was more discussion about that, but, you know, at the end of the day, you just let the players figure that stuff out. But slow play or fast play, you know, if you want to go really fast and put timers in your pants, I mean, you can definitely do. I mean, any deck you got to put a timer in your pants for, I don't want to play. I can't. I got enough stuff going on. I don't need timers going off in my pants. Hold on, I got to cross that off. No timers. No timers in my pants. Got it. All right. I think Zach should put timers in his pants when he plays his mill. Anyway, you can send your comments to questions@discardtoreroll.com. Do you put timers in your pants? What's the weirdest thing you've put in your pants when you played Star Wars Destiny? Send that to Golden Dice if you would, or the Jedi Trials. Yeah, send that to questions@thejeditrials.com. What's the weirdest thing you've put in your pants when you play Star Wars Destiny? You can tweet that over to them. Actually do that, because I'm not sure if if they listen anymore. So you send that over to them. Actually, D-House probably does, because he's got a young kid at home. And when the baby's crying, you throw on anything, even this trash when you listen to it. Here's what we got. We got that interview coming up with Sith Holocron. And I really enjoy talking to people that are not from the United States when it comes to Destiny, because it gives you a different perspective. Maybe Mill it's like a fine tea over in Europe. I'll have to ask him when I get a chance to talk to him again. We are, as you can hear, the last 2 weeks, we're definitely open to having you on the show. Just send me an email if you're interested in that, and let's talk some Destiny. I really want to hear from the community. I want to hear from you. Give me your thoughts, your feelings. How are your store championships going? And we got 2 things cooking in the hopper. We got a super cool reward for Patreons that whether you know that we're not in a coaching tier here. So we got to give you cool stuff. We're going to give you something extremely cool that I promise you're going to want, and you would buy it on your own anyway. And the second I can tell you, I will. So that's coming up soon. Also, we've got an appearance we're going to do. Finally, Zach and I are going to head over to PAX Unplugged. That is happening. We bought the tickets. We have the room. And if I see you and you mention something about the show, I've got good stuff for you. We've got enough stuff printed, so I think we'll be able to hand some stuff out to you at PAX Unplugged in Philly, and it's going to be a super fun time. And then after that, we are really, really grinding hard to see if we can get an event here in the doldrums of winter. So we've got a spot picked out. We're just seeing how many people they could hold, and we'll do something extremely, I can promise you, it'll be fun. It'll be at a very fun venue, and it will be doing some Destiny and having some beers and having a good time. So all that stuff's coming up. But again, if you're interested, you want to have a conversation with me about Destiny, and you got a microphone that's marginally decent, send me an email, questions@discardtoreroll.com. Hit me up on Twitter. Let's do it. Let's have you on the show. Let's get the community involved, because that's really what this podcast is for. And as always, don't play Mill. Friends don't let friends play Mill. Also, I hope that all of your rerolls are special ones. Here's Sith Holocron. We'll see you next on Discard or Reroll.
That's the one.
How are you doing today?
I am superbly good. I'm really, really good. Looking forward to getting onto a flight tomorrow.
So where are you headed? Well, I should save this for the broadcast, but where is it? I've been looking online to see where you're actually going.
I'm going to the Midlands, which is ironically named, let's call a part of a country the Midlands, because it's in the middle of the country. So imagine Chicago in the middle of America.
Yeah.
It's the middle of England.
What tournament is it? Like, what is it, a Galactic Qualifier? What is it that you're going to?
So you guys have got GenCon?
Yes.
So that's like U.S. nationals. Well, this is European nationals.
Oh, okay.
For everybody. So there's people from Germany and Italy and Denmark and Spain, and there are people from America coming over as well. There's a couple of guys from the Hyperloops are coming too. So
okay,
it's going to be tier 1 competition.
So, like, what website? Where would I even see that this is happening? What's the name of the event?
It's the FFG European Championships at the NEC in Birmingham,
there it
England.
is. Let's see. I just went to search for it, and let's see what comes up here. Nothing. European Champions. Organized play events, fantasy flight games. It's like I'm on a different website. Scheduled events. How do you find out about this? Like, is it because my internet only goes to America? Like, what is the... How did you...
It's possible. It's possible.
There it is.
Let me look it up.
June 1st. Are you sure this is happening? I want to make sure you're actually going someplace that is going to accept you.
I may have just arrived and there's nobody there.
Here it
and
is.
The people that we're all flying out with are just going to sit on a tarmac of an airport and play Destiny. And watch our cards fly around.
Which would be fun. It says event information June 1st through 3rd. Here it is. Okay, it looks like it's happening. Yeah, the UK Games Expo.
That's it. So that's the largest expo in the whole of Europe.
Gotcha.
So that's pretty exciting. And I've been a couple of times before, and it's just brilliant fun. And there's no way I'm missing it.
Yeah, that looks amazing. So where did you say it was again? Where the tournament is?
It's in Birmingham, or you guys would say Birmingham.
It's in Birmingham. Gotcha.
Unless, of course, you live in that place where they say it's Birmingham.
Oh no! So how?
Yeah, their accent is awful.
How far away is this from you?
Like a 40-minute flight. It's like a puddle hop.
Oh, that's not bad.
Yeah, it's no time. So
I wonder what are European restrictions for flying with Destiny products, like the dice? I feel like that trips up airports all the time.
Well, I live in Belfast in Northern Ireland.
Right.
And, getting out of Belfast on a normal day with a rucksack's quite bad enough.
Yes.
So, boxes full of little small dice things. People could probably be pulling me over to go.
It won't alarm them.
These?
You're the least of their worries that day, for sure.
Not at all. But we're flying out. There's about 12 of us heading over from here. A couple of guys flew out tonight. There's a couple of us flying out tomorrow. So. Well, it all depends on what we're doing. So
this is awesome. Well, so I might as well get right into it because this is good stuff. So I don't want to lose any of this content.
No, that's cool.
Appreciate you being patient and coming on the program. And you're representing really everyone outside of America because we tend to be more U.S. centric around here. And I think it was a shot in our chops when we found out that you were all getting Legacies first. Were you part of that release? Like, did you have access to the cards before we did over here in the U.S.?
Yeah, we did, but then you guys got rivals in front of us, So
yeah,
that was fair. Like you got Anakin.
Yeah,
we got Vandalize.
Yeah,
take your pick.
And you got lots of great. You got easy pickings before we did.
This is true. You see, so every cloud silver lining.
Dark Advisor. I mean, all day long you could play with Dark Advisor till your heart's content.
I know. Isn't it great? I just can't wait to build decks around Dark Advisor.
So, Simon, you're known as Sith Holocron on the YouTube circles, and you've been streaming now for about how long?
About a year, give or take.
All right, and
give or take?
Yeah, more take than give. But were you
more take?
Were you a gamer prior? Like what was your game of choice before Destiny got had its way with you?
Like Monopoly.
Really? So this was like one of the first
card games. Yeah, I've always played games, and then somebody said there's a Star Wars game called X-Wing. Well, that was me sunk. So that got me into playing FFG games. So I played the LCG, and then I played Imperial Assault.
Oh boy!
And then I played Armada. So I have a long-standing relationship with Fantasy Flight.
Yeah, for sure.
And Destiny's the new one. The only one I haven't got yet is Legion, but I'm sure that's going to happen because my big game was 40k.
Oh,
Warhammer type thing. So, painting and all that stuff.
They made it for you, this game.
They did.
They injected, they put in the IV already, and now they're just going to drip a little bit of that Legion in there.
Yeah, they're just kind of slowly bleeding out my wallet. That's what it is.
So you said you played the Star Wars LCG. There happens to be, and I think they incorrectly quoted it at when they were talking about it on the streams for Worlds here in Minnesota, where they're based, Fantasy Flight Games. They said that was the last championship, and maybe the last World Championship, because here it is. You can sign up Saturday, 9:30 for 14.
What?
It's not the 14, whatever the little funny symbol is. I don't know if it's pounds anymore. Is it pounds, not pounds? Aren't you out of that whole thing?
We have pounds still.
Okay.
We have pounds still.
All right. Star Wars, the card game LCG European Championship. There it is, Saturday. You could get in it.
Oh, see, that's the same day as Destiny.
Yeah, so I'm looking at the numbers. It's interesting. They have the numbers right here. So 64-seat limit. Good news, there's 20 available. So I think you've got plenty. Wow. You've got time.
Well, if I go 0-4 before lunch, I could maybe pack another deck and play the very last LCG ever.
This could be it. Oh, look at this, though. You know what? There's one full event here. Do you know what that happens to be on this list for Fantasy Flight Games? It's Armada.
Excellent.
No.
Armada? Really?
Yes. There's only 4 seats, but they're all full, which is no, it's 72 seats. 72 seats. Sorry to all the Armada people. 72 seats, and they're full.
That's good.
You could have gotten in on
Armada's
that.
Huge.
This was your chance, but no, you decided to do Destiny. So you are you've been streaming for a year, and you pretty much do that exclusively now, right?
Pretty. That's it. Just nothing but Destiny on the channel. Nothing else.
Yeah. And so how has that been going for you? Tell me about your experience doing it and why you're the Sith Holocron, by the way.
So honestly, it's you can blame your friends. It's Jay and Chris's fault because I stumbled across them on YouTube.
Yeah,
like
we all did.
Like we all did, and I laughed and I kept laughing, and then something in the back of my head going, "You could do this."
Yes,
why don't you do
yes,
this?
That
why
is
don't you do this?
That's the first thing most people say when they're like, "I could do this." Like, come on.
Yeah. So I sort of worked from home anyway, and I thought, well, I could do this in my spare time, and then did. And the reason it's called Sith Holocron is because I'm going to cry inside when it gets phased out, because I still to this day think that's the best card in Destiny.
So you are a fan of the Holocron?
Big time. Absolutely huge fan of that card.
See,
it's just broken.
I tried to figure out if I tried to give some inside information to people, and all of the people who are heading to Europe and to this little tournament that's about to happen are going to listen to this, and they're going to tech against your deck. So I don't want you to feel like you have to spoil anything. But I noticed you don't mention the Holocron a lot. You mention Cad Bane. In fact, correct me if I'm wrong, you call Cad Bane the male equivalent of Sabine.
Absolutely. Because he is. He's just not quite as good.
Yeah.
But I'm going to make him good. That's my little Destiny thing. I'm going to make Cad Bane great.
Oh, God. That's a phrase that in the United States, if you substitute Cad, we get a little nervous about when people say making things great again. We get nervous about that. But Cad Talzin happens to be something I've seen you play.
Yeah, it's an interesting deck. It just seems to have a good synergy, but then it's Talzin, and Talzin's great in every deck she's in. So her ability's bonkers. It's so good. And for the cost, she just pays for herself. So you don't even really need to play around her ability that much to just synergize so well.
Yeah. And for her cost and points, she's just she's good.
She's awesome.
She's very good. So tell me about the meta in Belfast. Like, do you have a local gaming scene? And I know you do a lot of streaming. Is that where you do most of your gaming there? Or are you able to get out and I don't know what are they? Are they gaming cafes? I don't even know what they call them out there. So educate a dumb American like me on the meta in Ireland and kind of the scene for gaming out there.
So we don't actually, God help us all, we don't actually have an FLGS. We don't, but we do have gaming. We actually don't have one. Now there are gaming groups and things. So I go to one called Board Meeting, which is actually upstairs in a bar in Belfast, but we're Irish, so that's good. So, no complaints, Destiny and a beer.
Yes, that sounds perfect.
That's handy. So, we go there. We go there on a Wednesday, every single Wednesday, and we get all types of games. There's people playing D&D and Imperial Assault and L5R and Destiny and all that sort of stuff. And it's just a really, really good, great evening of testing and stuff. But I'd say I probably play about 70 to 80% of my stuff online.
So, how do you get product? And, do you have, the physical cards and everything?
Yeah, so we have there's a chain in the UK called Forbidden Planet, and they do pretty much all the FFG stuff.
Oh, okay.
So we can get cards, and then eBay's great.
Yeah, exactly. Out there,
So see, there are ways and means. There are ways and means, but the guy that actually runs Board Meeting, he's actually the guy who invented Rory's Story Cubes. Ever heard of that?
Yes, I have.
So he can get product for us, so we just order through him, and that's kind of handy for all types of things.
So you have a Destiny dealer. This is amazing.
Yeah, it's awesome.
I was trying to take a quick look. I was looking at Google Maps because, of course, Google knows everything. And you have the big fish of the salmon of knowledge. I didn't know that existed in Belfast. Is that right next to your house? The big fish, the salmon of knowledge.
Well, it's Belfast, so it's everyone's close to the big fish. It's not that big a place.
What is the big fish, the salmon of knowledge?
It's like a blue and white piece of Art Deco that's right beside the River Lagan that sort of flows through or murks through Belfast, and it's beside a bridge, and nobody really goes there.
Yes.
But it is the salmon of knowledge.
Okay, because that's like the first thing that comes up when you search Belfast is the salmon of knowledge. So you got that.
I think the knowledge bit is don't fall into the river.
Right.
I think that's probably its knowledge.
Is it the Lagan River that we're talking about?
It is. It is the River Lagan.
The River Lagan. You have to say it the other way around.
That's it.
That is amazing.
We put river first.
So you're talking about CAD. I'm guessing one of the ways you make something great is you got to win a big tournament with it. I mean, if I were to predict, I don't know how great you think it is, but that's possible that could be a deck that makes an appearance at your tournament.
I would say somebody will take him, definitely. There's an awful lot of people on Discords around the internet kind of thinking that he could be, because he's so underused in the meta.
Right.
There are so many great decks. Like you got Stairs and you got Obi Maz and Sabine and Fagels and Yoda and Hondo and all that sort of stuff. Be good to see a really different deck do well, like the Talzin Aura Singh deck that did brilliantly at Worlds.
Yeah.
Nobody really saw that coming. So, yeah, I think somebody will take it, and sadly, it ain't going to be me. As much as I like him, it's not quite good.
See, Simon, I mean, I know you, but I don't know you that well yet. I don't know if you're purposefully saying that, and then you end up taking him, and then you can come back on and say, see, I sold you. I had everybody believe I was going to take him, and then you end up taking him and winning with him. I don't know whether
I would love to take Cadbine, but I can't. I don't have the reps with it, and I'm a firm believer if you're going to a really big tournament, you play something that you know backwards. So you know every single card, you know what you're doing. You don't even really need to mulligan that much. You're happy with the 30 cards you've got. I don't have cards that I'm not that happy seeing in the first 5, never mind putting them back into the deck and shuffling and going again. So the deck I'm taking sadly hasn't got Cadbine in it.
I'm looking at your channel here, and I see some great artwork, by the way. I see, let's see, episode 46, you played it. Episode 45, I see Luke. 43... 42, I see Kylo there. What are you playing there? Oh, Kylo Greedo.
Oh, yeah. That's a fun deck.
Interesting.
That's a fun deck.
Tell me a little bit about that pairing. They're both elite. Greedo elite. It's not saying much, but what's the and you got, I'm trying to see, there's a plot there too. What is that? Fortify? What is that plot?
Fortify.
Okay. All right.
I think it's Fortify. Pretty sure.
So. Is that the one that gives you the shield?
Yeah.
Okay. That's what that is. So tell me about that deck.
So it's pretty much a kill everything type deck. So I just really like playing it. It's just really funny.
Yeah.
It's jank, but it's brilliant jank, and it does work. That didn't work in episode 42, but
no,
I assume it will work in episode 43.
Yeah, there you go. Okay, all right. I like that. I want Greedo to be good. Like he's so squishy, right, with that 7 health. But it is a really thematic, cool ability that he's got for sure.
It's superb. It just ties into the movie so well, and that's what I like. The new cards that have got spoiled and stuff like that. They're really thematic to the movies and the canon. I really like it.
Yeah. So where are you with Star Wars now? I don't want you. You don't have to say your age. As an old guy, I'm the old guy. I don't know if you're a child of the 70s.
I'm right with you.
So
I'm a child of the 70s.
All right.
So.
Are you more of a guy who was the 4, 5, and 6 is kind of where your Star Wars is made, or have you fallen victim to all the other stuff with the cartoons and where are you in the canon?
I'm a Star Wars fanatic.
Yeah,
and have been since 1980, where my father took me to go see The Empire Strikes Back in a cinema.
Yes,
but the preview show was A New Hope. So we got to see A New Hope and then Empire Strikes Back, and it was the best 4 hours of my life. Yeah. And he took me to a store across the street, and I got a Stormtrooper and a Darth Vader.
Oh, baby.
That was me done. 2 Kenner toys. I was so happy.
See, people don't understand how much of our world got rocked when those movies came out for us. There was nothing, not even close.
Nothing.
Not even close.
Nothing. No, it was mind blowing, and you show kids the original movies now, and you still can't believe it was done in 77 and 1980. It's awesome.
Yeah, and the toys line though, the toy line was perfect. It was perfect.
Oh, they were great, weren't they?
Yeah, the way it came out. I might have to dust them off. I've got them over here, but every time I get inspired and I want to rebuy this stuff, I'm like, I don't need it. And my youngest daughter, actually, I took out my land speeder. and she's playing with it.
Cool.
And that's exactly what it's all about. Now, it's probably like lead in the paint or something, but she's been playing with it. I just don't have to eat
I still have an original 1980s AT-AT and a Millennium Falcon.
See, you were that guy. I did not have the Millennium Falcon. Everyone else had the Millennium Falcon. We couldn't afford the Millennium Falcon, so I got like the little vehicles, which added up to the price of a Millennium Falcon, but
absolutely.
I wanted
Absolutely.
one of those
But
so
Santa brought me my Millennium Falcon.
I wanted one of those.
He was
so
a good
bad.
guy.
And an AT-AT. Like, to get an AT-AT, you were in a different league, my friend.
Yeah, my Santa was a nice Santa.
Yeah. Oh my gosh.
So he was.
AT-AT. So when you see the new cards, all the things that have been spoiled, we got Captain Rex. Tell me what you think about the latest batch that we just saw, and what are your thoughts so far?
I think Rex is the red hero character they need desperately, and I love his ability. It's so good. So, before you activate, you spend a resource to spot a clone trooper to take control of the battlefield. That is awesome, especially with cards like Dug In and hasty exits and everything else that kind of you need.
Yeah,
you need control of the battlefield for those effects. That's brilliant. That's such a good card, and 11 health. That's not to be sniffed at.
No, definitely. So the points are right, like that.
It's 11-14.
Yeah. Feels good.
Feels good to me. Yeah, somebody's going to come up with really good decks for him in it.
Yeah. Now Rex as a character, I'm getting a lot of flack from our Twitter community because I'm not a huge I don't understand where he fits in the whole. I get he's like a clone trooper guy, right? Is he like the head of the clone troopers?
So he was in the movies, and then he was in the Clone Troopers show, and
was he really
did all that sort of stuff?
Was he really in the movie? Like, do you have to watch it in backwards or something to see him? Like, was he actually? Did he have a speaking part? Did I miss it?
Yeah, he's in it, and he's in the actual Clone Troopers animation, and he's in Star Wars Rebels, and then he's in Return of the Jedi. So
that's the one. He's like in the background, though.
Yep. Yep, he's still hanging around, which is good to see.
Well, he does look very cool, and he makes Red like something that we could actually play. Not villain side yet, right? But maybe.
Yeah. Red Hero needs a bit of a lift. It's probably the worst color affiliation in the game, I think.
What about the plot? What do you think about the new Red Hero plot?
Oh, long-term plan.
Long-term plan.
That's awesome.
Let me bring that card up real quick here so I can read it. So long-term plan says it's 3 points. So, that's in that profitable connections place that everybody thinks is so amazing. So it's 3 points.
Great.
Yep. It's exhaust this plot to place one resource on it or resolve one of your dice, increasing its value by the number of resources on this plot. Exhaust this plot to place one resource on it. Or resolve one of your dice, increasing its value by the number of the resources on the plot. So do the resources go away after you... So like you put this out, you exhaust it as an action, right? You put a resource on it. You then, reset it after the next round. Do it again.
Yep.
Exhaust it, right? And then third round, you could actually exhaust it, resolve a die, increase it by 2. So it becomes a Lobot special, basically, in the third round.
Yeah, totally.
What do you think about it?
I think it's brilliant. I think this is superb for them. So can you imagine something like a Poe 2 deck with his focus?
I'm trying to imagine it right now. Thinking about
it's awful.
Yes.
You're getting a Dark Saber like on a 20-point character with with a 3-4 focus.
Right.
So all the rest of your character dice are just getting changed for...
Yeah.
Or say you've got a disrupt out or a discard out and you've got 3 out. You could have 5 and just take out somebody's entire hand for the entire turn.
It's like what's a card everybody loves right now? CQA, right? It's like that, ready to go at any time.
Yep. Anytime you want. Or if you've got that one range and you've got 4 resources on it, well, that's a 4. But if you've got a 3 melee, say if you pair them up with Aya, for instance, because Poe just fits in there perfectly at 27.
Yeah, that would be it, right? Now
there's a deck.
Yeah, there's a deck all ready to go. One of the questions I have, though, well, on Hero, then you're not playing those Hero broken cards, right? Like easy pickings and stuff. And I feel like people jam yellow in there because those cards are so good, mitigations cards.
Oh, absolutely.
You know, so that's where I stumble a little bit when I'm thinking about where this fits. And would you rather have this than Profitable Connection? Like that one extra resource for that first round, what's its value compared to something like this?
I think long term, I think the title name kind of gives it away. It is a long-term plan. The longer this game goes on, that plot's going to be perfect.
Genius. Pfft, I just didn't even think of it. See, long-term plan. The idea is get into that third, fourth round.
Absolutely. I'd say round 3, round 4, this is going to be huge. So I don't think fast decks are going to be what they're looking for, but like some sort of a mid-range deck.
Yeah.
By the third or fourth turn, whatever you need to do, you can do it. Just for an action. That's brilliant.
I'm wondering what other red cards, red hero cards come into play. Characters now come back into play. You know, does the Leia? You know, Leia has always been on the border, right? Is a card that might be. You know, it's just needed that other pair, and you know, does that come into play here? I don't know. I'm trying to think of what other hero cards could make it take advantage of this.
Akbar, possibly.
Yeah. See, people love Akbar.
Possibly, and I love Akbar. He's a great card.
Yeah.
He doesn't get too much love.
No, he's fallen away for sure. So that's long-term plan. What about, are you a Gungan guy? What do you think about the new Gungan cards and all that business?
Yeah, they're really good. Like the Gungans themselves are pretty decent. You know, the dies, like most of the 6-point characters like Jawas and, you know, 2 blanks and all that sort of stuff. But then you've got Boss Nass.
Yeah, let's bring
his abilities is brilliant.
So Boss Nass, he's a bombastic ruler, by the way.
He is.
I prefer to not think that he even exists because he was in the first. What was he? The first episode? Wasn't that episode 1?
Yeah, that was first. Yep,
okay.
Episode 1.
All right. Well, we'll let it go. But he's hero rare. He's 9/12, 9 health, so 12 elite, which is nasty. He's got a 2 indirect, 1 focus, 1 disrupt. He's got a resource and then a couple blanks. After you activate a Gungan, you may deal indirect damage to an opponent equal to the number of its character die that just rolled blank. You're a fan.
It's not great. I'm totally a fan.
Well, for my rolling, it's perfect. But I mean, I haven't rolled blanks with Gungans, but so what do you think? It's him and a couple Gungans and just roll trash?
Well, you know, rolling trash. So if you play him at elite, you can have, 3 Gungans?
Let's see. So he's 12.
He's 12.
Gungans are, let's see. Yeah. Yep.
So there's an awful lot of dice with an awful lot of
crazy.
blanks.
Yeah, that's crazy right there. I love that idea.
But I think I would play him single. This is my thoughts. I would play a couple of Gungans.
Okay.
Yeah, single die, and 2 Gungans, and elite Jar Jar. And then play the yellow card.
Good God.
Goes with him.
That would be it. So that's not. Yeah, that would be 9. And Jar Jar is what? What's Jar Jar elite? He is
Jar Jar. I think you can get him elite.
Can't
you get him elite?
He's not. Well, yeah, you wouldn't be able to. So he's 7. 7 and 9. So you'd have him at 7. You'd have Nass at 7. That's 14. No, him at 9. So Boss Nass at 9. Jar Jar at 7. That's what, 16?
16.
And then you'd have a couple more. How many Gungans? 2?
2.
That gets you 12.
Can we do that?
That gets you to 28.
We can do that, can't we?
Yeah.
Yeah.
And then you got 2 points to throw around, whatever their new plot's going to be. Maybe there's a Gungan plot that they're planning that.
Could well be.
So now that's 4 wide, single die with 2 points to spare.
Yeah, that's I mean, it's not bad, is it?
No.
It would be fun, and then you get your easy pickings and your entangle, and then you can have hyperspace and truce, well connected. But that new card is so good.
Yeah, very nice.
That new card is awesome.
Which new card are we talking about now?
So the one about it's another one that was spoiled at the same time.
Not
what's the name of it?
Not Dumb Luck. That was on Chance Cube. Bendu's Lair.
No. There's a yellow. There was when they spoiled Boss Nass and the Gungans. There's a yellow plot.
Oh, dumb luck.
With it.
Isn't it dumb luck?
Dumb luck.
Yeah. So that's let's see. That is a event. It's a 1-cost event. Spot a yellow character or Gungan to reroll up to 5. There's gonna be just dice all over the place. I can barely keep track of 4. You spot a yellow character or a Gungan to reroll 5 of your die, then deal indirect damage to an opponent equal to the number of die that just rolled a blank. I will not.
Isn't that great?
Yes, but my brain hurts already. So now, how am I going to use this?
Well, I'm thinking chance cubes.
Okay.
Right. So you've got your 1, 2, and 3 resource side, and then 3 blanks.
Yeah,
your
for
boomers,
sure.
Because you can put boomers in if you've got Jar Jar.
Yeah.
They've got blanks. So you could be able to get a whole bucket load of dice, roll them out, and every time you see red, you're going, oh, please take 6 to the face wherever you like.
God almighty. Yeah. Man.
You know, and if you've got Nass as well, then you're ready hitting with his ability every time you're activating one. It could just be hilarious.
Yeah.
Definitely one I can't wait to play online on the channel, definitely.
That's going to be super fun. Now, what's the card? God, I'm trying to figure it out. My brain is melted already today. What's the card, the villain blue, that if you roll blanks, you die? What is it called? Not heavy now. Oh, can't think of it. You know what I'm talking about.
Is it anger? Or
no?
Oh, goodness.
It's it is. It's feel your anger. It's
feel your anger.
Count the number of blanks showing on an opponent's dice. Remove that many of their die. But does that resolve? So let me go back to that card for a second. Does that resolve? Spot a yellow character or Gungan to reroll up to 5 years. Yeah, so that's instant, right? So it doesn't matter
because it's the then keyword. So then deal in direct damage. So if you want to remove my blanks after I've done maybe 6 or 7 damage, that's fine. I don't mind you paying.
Reroll up to 5-year die and then deal indirect damage to an opponent equal to the number of that. That's going to be fun. That's going to be fun.
It's great.
Awesome.
I think it's a great card.
Oh, what else has hit you from have you had a chance to play on your channel with some of the new stuff?
No, I haven't got the cards yet, or I haven't actually got the chance to, get them, make them myself and put them in.
We can make that happen for you.
I'd love that to happen.
We'll
I really want to try Bendu's Lair.
Now that one looks cool. Let me bring that one up too. That is
some card.
I announced that as the card that you will see I have 27 of because it's going to be a rare. But roll this die into your pool after you take control of this battlefield. Remove its die. That's a power action. So that's let's see. It's got 1. Let's see. 1 damage, 2 indirect, 1 focus. It's got 2 shields, 1 resource, and a blank. Interesting. Tell me how you see this one being used.
Well, let's keep with the whole new spoil things.
Yeah.
So imagine you've got Rex. So his thing's saying before you activate, you can spot a clone trooper or pay a resource to take control of the battlefield.
Got it.
This could be brilliant. So say your opponent's got Bendu's Lair as his battlefield.
And let's say they rolled it in. So let's pick they rolled it in, and it's on a 2 indirect.
Yep. So you can take the die. So you can, after you take control of the battlefield, you can remove its die.
Okay.
So Rex will let you take control of the battlefield straight away, and that gets rid of that die. So, I mean, that's quite a good die. So the 1 range of the 2 indirect, of the focus of the shields and the resource, that's all decent sides.
Yeah, for sure.
Right? So you're removing any damage or helping him die fix or shield up or whatever.
Yep.
So that's gone. And then you've got all the cards that have got, if you own the battlefield, pretext, and then you can do your stuff.
Right. Now, it being a power action, one of the questions I had was, I don't get a chance to roll that in, right? Because I'm thinking for the round, the card was used, right? The die was rolled. So, because it comes over to my side, it doesn't reset. I don't get a chance to roll it in. Is that how you're seeing that being played?
That's how I'm seeing it being played, because it's a power action, so you've got your die on your card. Yeah. So it's just like malls. You can re-roll it back in. It's once around, you can roll the die in.
Yeah.
But if somebody else takes control of the battlefield, 9 times out of 10 it's because they're climbing. Rex overwrites that altogether and just takes control of the battlefield. So
Interesting.
That could be really good.
Now, my one question when I look at this card, which is a great card, I love it. What is Bendu's Lair? And I don't even know what it says something after it. I don't know what any of that means. It's like it's not Star Wars.
So it's Atolian, isn't that what it says afterwards?
I don't know what that means.
So Bendu, it's from Star Wars Rebels.
God, okay.
We need to get you watching this show, Chip.
I clearly have a problem. Like I want to love this game even more, but I'm now literally don't know anything that's going on with the game. Like Bendu Italian, that could be Buck Rogers for me, as far as I'm concerned. It may be Buck Rogers
too.
Yeah, they're going to be at your little convention, I think. By the way,
that would be great.
I noticed
that would be superb.
Yes. I think Twiggy will be there.
Bendu's like a force-sensitive creature.
Oh.
Who Ezra and Kanan meet on the planet Atolian.
Okay.
And he's sort of a good and a bad guy all at the same time. So he gives advice through the Force, but he's quite bad at the same time. So when the rebels are trying to escape, he tries to help them, but then also helps the Empire as well. He's sort of like what the Force should be. He's neither light nor dark. He just is.
God, that is so much deeper than a cartoon I would ever think would be. That he just is.
It's a great show.
There is no
so
spoon.
good.
It's like the Matrix. I don't even know what's happening anymore. But it's a really cool, like the art is really cool. So it's definitely something I want to look at. Like, who was it? Grumpy Jedi and Jedi Geek Girl. Props to them. They convinced me to look at Dr. Aphra. Because when I saw the card, I loved the art on that card. And I want that card, by the way, I think is going to be a real important card over the next few sets based on...
Definitely.
I just feel they wouldn't let that character just sit out there. But so I read the comic and I loved it. So I feel like I got to give... So this is Rebels. I got to give it a chance.
Yeah. Okay. Rebels is... You'll not regret it. Right. It's easily the best thing that they've done for a very, very long time.
Simon, I'm going to take your advice and finally do it. I think it's even on Disney Channel or something. Like I've got all the episodes, so I have no excuse anymore.
Yeah,
I really don't. So that is cool. You've got me on this die and Rex. So I mean, they're spoiling these things on purpose together, but I'm wondering what those things are that we don't know about. Like there's so many cards, like particularly with red, and I've got a thing I'm working on. I don't know if I'm going to be able to make it happen, but villain vehicles I think can be a thing. But all these red cards talk about battlefield and having the battlefield or giving the battlefield. And I think really good competitive players understand the importance of that. I'm not there yet.
I'm a real big fan of battlefield conditions.
Yeah.
It's actually something when I'm building the deck, that's probably the first thing outside of the character pattern I'm thinking of.
Really?
Yeah. Oh, absolutely.
Huh. You know why? Because I feel like it's so random whether you get it or not. So if your deck is based on that and, you roll, I mean, you're playing card like Cad's got pretty good die, right? But if you just, the matchup's bad and you roll bad, like that's it.
True. But, the way I look at battlefields are if I'm playing a really slow deck, I'm going to pick a battlefield that probably does nothing for either player.
Right.
At all. But if I'm playing a fast, like an aggro deck, then I'm probably going to pick something that is impactful for me and not for them. And I will deliberately climb and leave dice out just to get the battlefield condition.
That's why, Simon, you're making all these little stream videos because you understand that. That to me is the key. Like knowing that it's okay leaving that die or two out there. And even though Discard to Reroll is a great podcast, like not spending your whole hand and claiming so that you get A, whatever the feature is of that battlefield, the condition, and B, you're going first the next round, which I found with like really competitive Destiny, having the jump in terms of when you go, like going first is a big deal.
Oh yeah, it's huge. I mean, to me, I've always looked at this and thought that's my 31st card.
Yeah.
It's that important. If you're playing a really slow vehicles deck, you're never getting your battlefield.
Right.
You play 3 or 4 white vehicles, it doesn't matter.
It's not happening.
It really, really doesn't matter at all. If you're getting your battlefield, your opponent's not playing very well. But if you're playing aggro and you're probably going to climb first, maybe 9 times out of 10, take something that's going to be really good for you. What
do you feel? So let's talk battlefields for a minute because I feel like I don't spend enough time on it. What do you feel are like the ones that hidden gems or ones that you play a lot, or what do you find yourself if you want it and it's a more aggressive deck? Like if you're playing a CAD deck or whatever it is, like what's one you want to see?
So, let me have a look. Right, so if people play Sabine Ezra, which they do, they're probably going to play Nal Hutta for the resource and the card.
Right.
Because they want to go through, they want to find their hyperspace jumps, and they're never tell me the odds, or another weapon that they can discard, or whatever they need. It's really good because they're getting the money at the same time. Emperor's Throne Room. So if you're playing characters with specials,
it's a tough one.
You just want to. You don't care what you're rolling. You're getting something like a Boba special, or Phasma special, or a Poe special, or an Ayla special. You can do stuff with. That's really good. In the shield heavy meta that we've got, then Ewok Village is great. If you think you're going to be playing against a lot of Yoda Hondos or Rey Aylas that can shield really well, or like even Qui-Gon's coming back with Yoda, so there's a lot of shields out there. Ewok just takes that away.
Yeah. How about Otagunga? I feel like I always pick that one because it doesn't hurt anybody.
Well, it certainly doesn't hurt anybody. I only really use that in a mill deck.
Right.
I like it in a mill deck. I know people want to go for the one that discards 2 off the top of your deck, but mill plays quite slowly.
Yeah.
Most of the time. But you're gaining a health by playing Otagunga. So
what's that? War-Torn Streets? That's the one that you discard a random card from the hand.
That's it. Like that?
Yeah. Interesting. I'm looking at all the battlefields.
I think people need to take a little bit of time and flick through the cards that they've got, because not everyone's got 2 of everything. I mean, I don't. I'm close, but people need to just kind of think, what's this deck doing? What do I want this to do in an ideal world? And what's the battlefield that will help me do that? That's a really good way of deck construction.
I like that. I like that idea. You call it the 31st card, Simon. That should be your new podcast. The 31st card.
That's a great name.
Sith Holocron. Like, that's it. You've got it set. Actually, you could just talk about battlefields, like hours just on battlefields. Like today's episode, we're going to talk about Arid Wasteland and what Genosis even means. I know that one. I know Genosis. That was from. That's where. Who is his name? Who's the big guy who's got the wheel bike and he's got all the arms? Grievous. Isn't he from there?
Yep, that's where they kind of build all the horrible little Geonosian winged creatures who built the Death Star.
Simon, I got to write that down. I got one of those right. Genosis. And Chip got it right. Okay, good.
Yay.
That's my one per se. What are some so tell me some of those hidden gems. What do you think when you've played a lot of Destiny Online now? What are some
lots and lots?
Yes. Yeah. I mean, how many videos do you even have right now? Look at this. It's crazy. So you've got 46 episodes. So that means at least 46 games.
So those ones are.
Wait a minute! Whoa!
Legacies ones? Yeah, you could scroll down.
Sorry, my apologies. I insulted you. There is 1,000 games on here. Holy!
Yeah,
I think I remember that because I did watch your stuff. Some of your early stuff with Django and like Bosk. I wanted to make good, and oh man, you got So you have 1,000 games.
Yeah, about that. Yeah.
So what are those?
I think my favorite one.
What's that? Yeah, tell me.
Episode 40.
40
of the original one.
Yeah. Which series? I mean, you got 7. It's like you got 7 seasons. Here's episode 40. Okay, here we go. 40. Oh, that's 5 battle droids versus. Is it Kylo?
Kylo
New Vader
up against Emo Kids. Yeah.
Emo Kids. Okay.
That was such a great video.
God. Well, I'm going to mark it down right here. That's on my watch later. And I'm going to make sure that we put it as part of the show notes. You got to watch it. Tell me the hidden gems. What have you seen? Cards that just, are not. And I don't know if you want to spoil this now before you go and play. But what are those guys? I could even wait to release this till Monday, till after you play. But what are those cards?
No, that's fine.
Those hidden gems that are out there that you don't think people are playing enough, and just in the thousands of games you've played, would be worth our time to even look at
it? Scorched Earth is a great card.
Scorched Earth. I was just holding that card the other day.
It's so good. I carry one in my wallet.
You carry a Scorched Earth in your wallet.
I carry it around with me all the time. God, it's not good.
Bless you. You work at home, so at least it doesn't come out as much. But
it doesn't come out as much. Scorched. I really like Scorched Earth.
Let's take a look at this guy. There it is. Play only if you control the battlefield. Look at that. See, there it is. Villain card. Play only if you control the battlefield. What's the Rex villain equivalent? Something. It's going to be something.
It's got to be something.
Deal indirect damage to an opponent equal to the number of die in their pool. Yes.
Yeah.
For 2.
So, if you get this at like round, okay, so it costs 2, but if they've got, say, a couple of supports out, or say against a vehicle deck, it's just hideous.
Yeah.
Say maybe have like 4 supports out, an elite character at 6. Well, okay, they have 6 to the face. So it ends nasty. Games very quickly.
That is nasty. It reminds me of Fight Dirty a little bit.
Yeah, absolutely. And Fight Dirty's brilliant. It's so much fun.
Like removing. That's kind of the opposite way, right? You're removing your die. They have to be yellow though, but it's direct.
Yeah.
And what's the one that is a Legacies card, and it's indirect, and it's what is it based on? Is it remove any of your die and do indirect damage? It's not Fight Dirty.
Oh no!
The guys were playing it. The Destiny Council guys were playing it. I just had it in my head. It's something like that. God. See, I'm going to delete this so it looks like I'm brilliant, that I know it right off the top. And then I forget to delete it, and then I look even worse. What is it? All right, I know that card. But so Scorched Earth, I like it. That's a good one. What's another? Give me another good one.
Let me see. What do I not like when I'm playing? Shields annoy me. Oh, Sustained Fire. There's a hidden gem for you.
There it is. But let me bring that one up. Sustained
Fire. It's from Spirit of Rebellion.
There it is. The most broken set of all time. Play only if you have 2 or more dice showing range damage. Remove all shields from all of an opponent's characters. And it's a villain card. So this is a good one. So in my horrible build of a villain vehicles deck, I was thinking about, what's the Intimidate? Is that the one remove all shields from one character?
Yeah, that's Intimidate.
Okay. So, and that's for, I think that's 0 cost.
And that's 0. And then you've got Frighten. Which is Ambush.
Right.
It costs 1.
Costs 1.
That's remove up to 3.
Up to 3. Is it 1 character or up to 3 shields?
No, it's from as many characters you want. Okay. So it's remove up to 3 shields from as many characters as you like.
And so you don't have to have any die showing range damage. So that doesn't have that condition on it.
No, but it has the ambush keyword as well, so you can remove the shields and then smash.
That's a good one
with your ambush action.
But this one is all shields from all of an opponent's characters. When are you? So give me a couple decks. This is great against.
When it's great against, so anything with Yoda in it, it's just amazing.
Exactly.
And seeing as he's kind of ubiquitous at the moment, that's good. Rey 2 decks, that's probably good. Qui-Gon decks, that's pretty good.
I love it. Good one. Those are 2 good ones off the top of your head, Simon.
Not too bad.
I'm going to give you that.
Not too bad.
Big time. So what are you? So you got the tournament coming up. You're going to play in the championship, and you said there's a group of you that are going. Are you all playing Destiny in your group, your local group, or what? What's the scoop?
So we're doing quite a few. So there's probably about 10 to 12 of us going. Some guys are playing Imperial Assault, which is a great game. I really enjoy it. Some guys are playing L5R. They're away to play in the Kotai, and then there's about 3 of us going over to play Destiny. So.
Excellent.
Looking forward to it. Really, really looking forward to it. That's I've been to like the UK Nationals and the Euros before. Like last year, the UK Nationals, I think I came 22nd, and my idea of deck construction was putting an ATST in because you're going to get 6 resources every time. Aren't you?
That's going to happen.
Yeah. So I have no idea how I finished there that high. Because I think I went 4-2.
Yeah, but I think when you're playing this much, you can kind of make an average deck good. You clearly know how to play, and you know how to work around what your opponents are. And the game was fresher back then, for sure. But it sounds like there's going to be some great competition there too, so it should be super fun.
I just can't wait to meet the people from the community as well. So it's been great sitting here talking with you, but because I love Discard the Reroll. It's ping, my phone goes and it's like, yes, I can walk the dog and listen to Chip. But the Europe Destiny guys, so that's Klaus and Mads.
Yeah. I love that. I love it.
World's runner-up, so they'll be there. And then Miguel from Spain, he's the Spanish national champion. Tobias, who went top 16 with Tals and Thrawn at Worlds.
Yep. See, I was secretly rooting, and I'm not anti-American in any way, shape, or form, but I was secretly rooting for the Your Destiny podcast guys. I love their show so just good quality content that makes me I just feel smarter. And they put out these YouTube videos where they're sitting like with sniffers of brandy and like talking about the game. I'm like, finally it's like a mature presentation of it. I love it. And I love that they play ABBA in between the...
Isn't it great?
Yes.
I really like the musical interludes.
It's just it just feels like I'm in Denmark. Yes. It's very Danish.
Yeah. So
I'm
Klaus
jealous.
is actually going to be our marshal.
Who is going to be the marshal?
Klaus.
Oh, God. That's so funny.
It's actually going to be our marshal, so it's going to be epic.
He's good at calling games, too. I like hearing him call it. Like, it's almost better than listening to football on the radio. Well, our American football on the radio. I haven't listened to soccer on the radio.
Go Patriots.
Oh, no. Are you?
Yeah, but I'm Irish, so I know nothing about it.
Oh, no. See, there's this whole East Coast, like the deck that won, I'm calling their, like the Hyperloops and those guys, like East Coast aggro. That's their whole, of Sabine and blast you in the face. And I want the art and beauty Simon of Destiny to win. I want somebody who could, and the long-term plan, when you really have to be tactical and think through things like that, that's kind of I want to learn how to play that style of Destiny. And I hope that it can be competitive.
I just think there's a whole ton of decks that haven't even been thought of yet.
Yeah. Well, you gave cards that people probably have to go back in their boxes to find.
That's a good thing, isn't it?
I think it's great. I really do feel like it's impossible for us to know. Like there's this app. I talk about it, and the guy's super nice, but I don't make a cent when I talk about it. But it's an iOS because I'm an iPhone guy. And I'm bringing it up, and it's called Team Builder. So when I go to, it's just, I just hope
it's really good.
Yeah, I hope he updates it. But let me just delete this pairing I was trying to figure out. I'm going to clear that. Okay. So if I bring it up, there's 29,679 total pairings. Now, granted, 20,000 of those involve Jawas or battle droids. But when you take those characters out, it's like 20. There's 29,000 combinations. Like, how? There's no way. And there's only 500 people to play the game right now anyway. So there's no way any of these people have figured out there's stuff to be discovered, I guess is what I'm trying to say.
Totally. There really is. It blew my mind that nobody had thought of Aura Singh and Mother Talzin. No one.
Now, Jay is going to tell you that he knew about that deck and he played Sing and he told everybody she was good and nobody believed him. I don't know whether that's true. I did see him play it once, but I mean, everybody's played it once. But
yeah, I think everyone sort of played it after Worlds.
Yeah, for sure.
I can't believe I didn't even see that character combination at all. I mean, everyone saw Kylo and Anakin as a great deck. It had the ability to be a great deck, but everyone started playing Kylo and Talzin because it's Talzin.
Yeah, I wonder what one of the questions I would have for you, and I would love to talk to you after if you want to, if you give us your experience. That would be amazing, by the way. If I don't know if there's been enough time to do any shifts. Like, is it going to be? Do you think like Worlds Part 2?
I think the meta. So. In most of the podcasts I listen to, which are probably the ones that you do as well, because I know you're an avid podcast listener. Everyone's pretty. People are saying the meta is quite stale.
Yeah.
Because Worlds is finished, and it's just before GenCon for you guys. And what's your other big event that's coming up after GenCon?
Nova.
Nova.
Yeah. Yep.
So you've got those two big things and a couple of GQs that happened like last weekend, and one was won by a 5-die villain.
Yes. Yep. You're right.
Yeah. So I'm expecting the same sort of decks over here. So, one turn kill's still going to be here. Mill's going to be here. Yeah. I reckon that Hyperlook,
if they're coming, I bet you they might bring something. Yeah, they might bring something different. They could bring that vehicle deck. I didn't know that any of those guys were going over there. Like, that would be interesting to see. Like, you and I talk about innovating a little bit, but at the end of the day, what you want to win. It's a risk to take. Do you play what everybody knows? Like, I think teching against Kylo Anakin's probably a good idea.
I'd say that's a very good idea. So if you're playing a mono deck, you'd better have the reps with it and know how to get around it. So, like, keep a grey card in your hand.
Yeah, for sure.
For instance, and hold on to that. Don't discard it to reroll. Keep it there.
Yeah.
People will be playing them. They'll play them with Talzin because, in my opinion, I'm Sith Holocron, so it's a great card.
Yeah.
So I played Talzin with him and did the Holocron package because I thought it was better than Anakin.
Yep, that's a possibility. So we could be seeing that. I think you could be right on that too. I think you'd be right.
It's really consistent. It's stupidly consistent. Talzin's not going to not let you get that Holocron out. You're going to get that special every single time. And whether or not you've got a blue ability in your hand to play it, your opponent doesn't know that.
See, this is where all of your games comes in. This could be your tournament. We could be talking to the champ before you got to think that way, Simon. You got to think you got to represent Ireland first of all. Second of all, this podcast you're going to get the discard to reroll bump. This is going to give you that positive push. And by the way, if you're still looking for decks, I'm still on that team builder. Can you guess what's the highest number of health, according to this tool, you can have in a deck possible? So all the math being calculated for you. The total highest number of health you can start with without any just straight up characters. What would be that number of health? What do you think it is?
33.
Are you looking at the app? Let me qualify
I'm just
this
thinking
by saying
3 Gamorreans are 11.
If I had my bell sound effect, I would play it. It's 33. You are very right. It's 33 health. All right, I'm going to ask you one more question. What's the maximum number of dice you could start with? What do you think that is?
6.
It's taking me a second. It is 6. Yep, there's 2 decks. 2 decks. Could you care to hazard a guess? Are they hero or villain?
One's hero because it's all yellow, and it's Maz and Jar Jar and Ezra.
You pass the test. All right. And what's the second one?
Pass.
It is Rose, Ezra, Jar Jar. And that's it.
Oh, yeah, of course it is.
That's it.
Of course it is.
Wow. And both of those decks won't do anything for you. Although you're ready to start rolling with Jar Jar and whatever that guy's name is. Boss Nass and...
Oh, yeah, that's going to be my fun deck. As soon as that drops, as soon as Way of the Force comes out, that will definitely become a fully sleeved. No, not a double sleeved. I'm not as pedantically picky as you are, but for Euros, I am going to represent Ireland, and my sleeves will all be green.
Oh, what kind? Are you a Dragon Shield guy?
Oh yeah, that's what they are. Dragon Shields, matte ones, of course.
You got to do matte.
Yeah, has to be matte.
Now, if we're getting tournament savvy here, your characters have to be in a different color sleeve. Just saying, that's what it says.
They do. I have the clear ones.
Oh,
I have beautiful clear ones.
Clear matte.
Yeah. So, well, not just lovely clear, double-sided, totally clear. So you actually see the Star Wars logo behind them.
Are they Dragon Shield clear too?
They are Dragon Shield.
See,
clear.
I just got the Dragon Shield clear matte, so they have a little bit of it's like a tint to it, but they're still clear. I love those. Are they spot gloss cards?
So I'm just going to tell you what I'm playing.
Yeah,
I'm just going to tell you what I'm playing.
I will beep it out. I'll beep it out until after Monday. How about that? I'll only let patrons hear it.
Yeah, that's fine. That's cool. So my battlefield, my 31st card.
Here it is. The 31st card
is Emperor's Throne Room.
Yes, I like it already.
And I am an evil person at heart because I loved Stormtroopers.
Ooh, okay.
As I said earlier, right? But Stormtrooper isn't in it.
Oh, okay. We're going great. Yes.
So it's a villain deck, and it's got Phasma in it, and that is
Boba Phasma.
An alt art, and it's Boba Phasma.
Yes, I like that. You know what? I'm building that, so I'm playing tomorrow night not in a big tournament, just in our local, and I want to roll that deck and play it. Is that the one you have the most reps with? Do you think?
It's outside a 5-die villain, which to me there's too many decks can just kill Bala or kill Talzin round one. So like Obi Maz can just kill it with an upgrade, and Zeb Yoda can kill it with an upgrade. And any deck that can do like a 4-speed thing can probably kill it.
Yeah.
In 2 turns, 5-die villain is probably just squished really quickly. The other one is It would have been a Sith Holocron deck, and it would have been Talos and Kylo.
Yeah.
But I think too many people are going to be checking against Kylo, so that put me off that.
Yeah.
And then with Kylo winning Worlds, that was me definitely off it. I would have taken Stairs. I would have taken Rayella to Worlds.
Yeah.
That would have been my choice at Worlds. I thought that was a good choice.
Yeah.
But
I wonder if Matt, so is Mads, you said that Klaus is the Marshal. Is Mads playing in it?
Yeah, Mads is playing in it, yeah.
Do you think he's going to play? He's not going to play Stairs again. There's no way.
I don't think he will, no. I think they changed to something else.
Yeah.
He's that good a player. They test as much as we do in real life, if not more. So I would assume they're going to do something quite nice.
Yeah, I bet you he's going to bring Thrawn. He mentioned that on his podcast, and that he's not good enough to play Thrawn, and needs more reps. How many more reps does the guy need? He's going to play something like that.
I'd say it wouldn't be a bad choice if you can do the mental side of it. It's the whole let me see your hands. If you get the right number, so most people call like 0-1. You get one out. You can play around maybe one card, but most people forget.
Yeah.
What the third, fourth card is.
Right.
I think I've seen a big tournament where you're going to be playing like 9-10 rounds.
Yeah, it's tough.
No, it wouldn't be for me. So I decided I want to do something that is fire and forget.
I like it. I like that deck a lot.
To be totally
that'll
honest.
do it. Yeah, that'll do it. I mean, so what are you worried? What's the matchup? If you sit down against it, you're saying, oh, geez, that you're going to need positive thinking against the matchup.
So the only deck I don't like against it is vehicles.
Yeah.
If I don't kill a 3-wide quick enough, it destroys it because I've only got 21 health.
Right.
It doesn't do a lot, and there's enough mitigation in it. Probably not quite enough, but I think my mitigation is I'm killing your characters before you kill me.
Right.
But then it's vehicles. They don't really care about their meat shields, do they?
No, not much. We got that Boba special, though. See, I feel like I did Boba Sister, and I just wasn't smart enough playing it. Like, I wanted to not waste that Boba special, and was waiting. I was waiting for Maul's lightsaber to hit the 4, or just waiting for a big number, and then it would get mitigated, or I don't know. It was too easy to get easy picked. For some reason, when I rolled it twice, and it was gone before I could even do anything about it. And then I thought, I needed to get faster with it, so fast hands was something I was thinking about, and I just needed to be faster with that deck. And I'm not sure how fast Boba Phasma is, and if it's fast enough to deal with Sabine and decks like that.
So, in the amount of testing I've done on this, and it has been extensive, the only deck I've seen go faster than it is Sabine, but only if she's hyperspace jumping.
Okay.
I'm more than happy to take the 2 on Boba special.
Yeah.
Right. So I look at Boba as having a 2 range, a 2 melee, and a 2 whatever.
Right.
So it's still 50% damage sides. So if there's a 2 out and it's on my side, I'll take it.
Yeah.
Unless I'm playing vehicles.
Right.
Or I'm up against something like Obi-Wan and he's got his 3. So chances are he will roll that.
Right.
Before he rolls out Maz. So I can hit for 3 and get away.
Oh, wouldn't it be nice? See, I don't feel like in that the build of the vehicles deck that Hyperloops were running, they play Resistance Bomber and that 6 comes up. Isn't there a 6 on there? God, yeah, but they're probably resolving that before. Yeah, you can't turn that. If you turn that over with a Boba special, then you're the king. No matter what happens, you're the king.
That'll be amazing. That'll be awesome. That's the dream, is to play some deck that they've got Maul Saber and a Resistance Bomber in, but that can't happen, which is such a shame.
Well, Simon, I wish you the best of luck. I'm jealous. I'm super jealous now that I even know where you're going. And it's very American of me not to have known that. And I am now hoping there's going to be some streaming of some sort of this. Is there any? How am I going to know what's going on?
So the last thing I heard officially was that the Your Destiny guys were trying, but because Klaus is marshalling, they can't do it. But they're, we've got an amazing community for this game, and that's the main reason why I started YouTubing, is to grow the community. And people have already said, listen, if I go 0-2, I'll drop and I'll do the stream. So who knows?
God.
Hopefully somebody starts streaming something, because there's been enough streamers at European level for like X-Wing and other type games. So we're kind of hoping fervently that somebody does it.
That would be so cool. Well, you better be tweeting or something. I mean, I know it's hard when you're in the throes of competition, but we got to know how you're doing.
I will definitely be tweeting away during the competition and putting things on Facebook. So yeah, we'll be keeping updated. We'll do some vlogs and stuff, and we'll put
Yes.
them on the channel as well. And
Oh,
trying to introduce as many people as we can who are in the community, and then people who aren't, just nice people.
Well, tell people, so if they want to watch your stuff, or what's the best way to check out Sith Holocron and all the stuff you're doing?
YouTube. So we've got, it's type in Sith Holocron and it'll come up, or the Sith Holocron Destiny. It comes up. Same with Facebook. Same on Twitter, except it's Holocron Sith. We're on Patreon. We're on all the things that people kind of do and to do this stuff. And it's easy enough to find me online.
Just scroll down because
scroll
make
down.
sure you scroll down because holy cow, that is awesome. Well, I wish you the best of luck and I appreciate you taking the time to come on. And it's a little bit later over there in Belfast, but it's not 1 a.m. yet, so that's good. It's on its way.
No, it's only 11 p.m.
Oh,
I mean,
God,
this is Earth. The night's young. The night is still young.
You better start streaming. Are you going to put anything else out, or are you just making sure your sleeves are all nice and tight and you're ready to go?
I have decided to change my 30th card.
Your 30th card?
Yeah, my 30th card. It was my one last flex thing.
Is it one of?
I've decided to change it to a one of something else.
Oh, all right. Well, will you break down the deck list and let us know how it went after?
100%. Love to.
Yes, you are the man. All right, Simon, thank you for taking all the time, and we're going to be rooting for you. You're now you're a man on the street. We appreciate it.
Thank you so very much for having me on. It's been a pleasure.